beautiful, down to earth, and she's great.
Wow. Right here at the Oriental Hotel right here in Lagos for one of Nigeria's most anticipated book launch ever. Yes, guys, you heard it. Nigeria's most anticipated book launch. It is Toyosi Etim-Effiong's Now You Know Me Better.
Good morning, my neighbor.
At this moment, I want us all to please stand up as we welcome the reason why we are here today.
Hello, how you feeling?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Toyosi.
Oh, Toyosi in the building. Yes, we have another Toyosi in the building, but yeah, the main factor we're talking about today is Toyosi Etim-Effiong. So how did you get to know Toyosi? Like, both of you bearing the same name. How was that feeling like for you when you first met her and all that?
So we actually belong to the same fellowship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how I knew her and met her. And that's how I knew her. Yeah. So yeah, so she's more like my sister now. Yeah, so this is all part of the journey.
Okay.
Jesus' name. God, we come into this space and we invite you. Just as Toyosi has committed that everything that she does be in your presence, we invite you to the presence of this launch. We come, oh Lord, and we desire that you will anoint everything to happen in this space. Every conversation, every part and every moment of the process would come and would be ordained and anointed with your presence, with your touch. We pray, oh Lord, that as she has given of herself in the writing of this book, so you will pull back and replenish her, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. We pray, oh Lord, that you will expand her tent through the process of this book, that this book will touch corners of this earth and of this nation she never thought of and imagined, and it would begin in this space. In the same way a seed enters the ground not knowing what is about to take place, when it becomes touched by the anointing, when it becomes touched by the water, when it becomes touched by your spirit, it begins to grow and birth forth fruits that it has not begun to imagine or see. And I pray, oh Lord, that this book launch would do just that. That it would be a seed in the ground that touches your spirit and is touched by the waters. That as she begins this, it is just chapter 1. It is just chapter 1. It is just the beginning of the journey, the places that you are taking her. As she gives thanks for all that you have done through her life, from the beginning till now, it would be the beginning of the things you are about to do. It would be just a small seed and a small token of the greatness that you have birthed on the inside of her. We thank you, God, because we know that none of this would be possible without you. And so we thank you now at the beginning of the event, not at the end, knowing the things that are to come are great. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Take the national anthem and then get into the event proper. How many of us are still proud to be Nigerians? I know that's been a tough year for all of us.
Okay, you guys are here for Toyosi.
Yes,
Toyosi is your friend.
she's my sister-in-law. That's her father.
Oh, you are
Daniel.
yeah. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, now joining me, I have Toyosi's amazing family right here with me. This is Mr. Etim-Effiong, and of course I have the beautiful lady in a black dress. How are you both feeling today? How are you both feeling today?
My feeling?
Yeah.
Super, fine.
All right then. What about you? How do you feel today?
Yeah, it's exciting. We're here to celebrate our sister.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's exciting. It's a new stage in her life.
Toyosi writing a book, or literally wrote a book about life experiences and, you know, our journey and, you know, identity, embracing yourself. How is there any way you can relate to that, like what she has written in the book?
Yeah, I think she's been very honest about her journey, and I think it's helped her to also discover herself to a great extent. And I think it's a learning for all of us, right? To dig deeper into, you know, what makes us who we are, and, you know, our journey going forward. So yeah, there's a lot to learn from that.
All right then. Okay, Daddy, what about you? What would you say is your fondest memory of Toyosi? I mean, getting married to your son and all of that. What would you say is that one thing about Toyosi that made you really love her as your daughter?
Beautiful,
Okay.
down to earth, and she's great.
Wow, Toyosi is great. Okay, over to you. If there's any way you can describe Toyosi, like in one word, if there's anything you would like to say to her, can you do it?
Okay, 2 words. She's bold, she's passionate. Very passionate. I admire that a lot about her.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being on the red carpet. It was nice having you guys.
We'll be starting off with our identity coach coming to give us her opening speech, the keynote address. So please allow us to pay attention as we welcome the Chief Officer at the Etim-Effiong company. She is an identity coach, and she's going to be coming to talk to us a bit about identity. So we'll get the show started. Please put your hands together for Etim-Effiong Bernard as she comes on stage.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here tonight. First of all, I'd like to thank Toyosi, who is still talking to somebody. I'd like to thank you for this honor. I do not take it for granted. So I'm going to start with a quick story. I'm on my phone and I noticed a message, I don't know how many hours after, and I go to it, it's in my Instagram, and I know that the person isn't following me, or I don't follow the person or something. I just checked and I see this long episode. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to read this now, let me keep it till when I can. So I sat down later in the day and I read it. And typically I don't believe in, or I didn't believe that people could meet each other in that way, you know. So now I believe that marriages can really happen on social media. Because this person wrote a love letter. That's what it sounded like. It sounded like a love letter. I remember when I was growing up, I was the last, but I am the last child in a family of 5. And at the time, my immediate brother was 11 years older. The next one was 13 years older. The next one 15 years, and the last one 17 years. So I never really had an opinion. And then my brothers, anytime they had friends over, I would be observing. I would know which one is the side chick. I know which one is the main chick. I would know the one they like and the one they don't really like. So after a while, I just realized that I was absorbing so much information. And I was wondering, what is all of this for? What am I using these things for? As I began to grow, and these are things I used to hide because when I was in school, the things that my mates used to talk about, they didn't interest me. I thought it was, what are these ones saying? It's too pedestal, but I wouldn't say anything. I'll just smile. The things that they would laugh at, I'll just laugh. Let's go. But I didn't really feel it. Fast forward. When I got married and all that, and in my 40th year, when I was turning 40, there was something I was looking for. And I said, I need a move. I want to enter into the next of my life. And then it occurred to me that all of my life I'd had experience, knowledge about men. And I thought, what am I using this thing for? And then it came to me. So I birthed some community for men aged 20 to 35. And people started telling me, oh, you can't host an event for men. You can't, you're not a church, they won't come. And on this day, about 1,000 men showed up. And when they showed up in the hall, I knew that day that all of my life had prepared me for who I need to be. What am I saying? All of your life's experiences, good, bad, ugly, has prepared you for who you need to be. All. So, whatever we may go through, whatever we may know, whatever we may not know, all of the experiences of our lives prepare us for who we need to be. Now what happens is that a lot of times we want so much more. We want to be valued, we want to be respected, we want to be honored, and so we do anything. So why do the nations rage? Why do people imagine vain things? Why do people plot and scheme and copy and paste and cheat and lie? They're looking for one thing, but they already have it. All that you need to be, you already are. All that you need to be, you already are. Beware of those that honor you with their lips, but despise you in their hearts. You are given to the world to give to the world, because that's the only reason. If you are not giving, you are not living. And when I say if you're not giving, you're not living, I'm sure that we know that giving is not in resources. Just anybody can give resources. We all can give, and if you have it, you can give it. Giving is in your talent, your skills, your abilities, your experiences, your life's mission. We need to learn to move from our comfort into our purpose. And that's what this is all about. And so when I started reading this book, when I met Toyosi, I knew, I said, okay, how many people tell me, come and take a keynote on identity? I'm like, wow, this is what I do, this is who I am. But I do that in companies, with personal, takes me here. Personal branding. You know, people always talk about, oh, personal branding, this and this. You know what? Personal branding is stale, it's old news. It's the era of inner wisdom. It's no longer about what you wear, how you package it. Anybody can do that, guys. Everybody. It's about inner wisdom. What have you been given? What makes you different from me? Why me? Why does this mister choose her instead of me? Why? It is about her inner wisdom, her light. And if she's not able to bring that to the table, it's not because she can wear this or wear that. All of those things will fade. And if all those things are stripped down and you have nothing, you are nothing. Our world today is so superficial. People hustle, but you are made for more. You are not made for the hustle. The hustle is made for you. Why did I say that? It means that everything that you want wants you to. Everything that you seek seeks you to. But it needs to hear and needs to know that you are the one. How? What am I saying? You know, let me give you an example. So one day, I'm going to talk about recall for me as usual. This is a big thing on my heart. So one day I was talking to somebody. I said, oh, I need to meet somebody. I need somebody to take a masterclass for me on talent and talent management and this. And then, it was a younger friend and he told me, oh, this is the person you need to talk to. So he said, just check the internet and check what he looks like. So I said, okay. And I checked what he looked like, and that was the end. I was in London at the time, and it was at the O2 Arena. My niece had said, oh, let's go and watch some show. If you know the O2 Arena, you know how large it is, guys. It is, tens of thousands of people. And after the show, I was walking out, and I just saw this face coming towards me. I thought, this face looks familiar, but I don't know this person. And then it clicked. It was the person I had checked online. I'm like, wow. All that I want wants me to, I just need to push. I just need to ask. I just need to seek. I just need to keep on going. I just need to be focused and say, you know what, this is what I need. And tell everybody and shout on the mountaintops. Why? As soon as they hear of you, they obey you. They have to hear it. They've got to hear. So somebody's saying, why is it so much noise about a book launch? Because you need to announce, I am here. All of you guys waiting, there's a gifting that you have that is for a people There's an idea, there's a vision, there's a mission. It is for a people, it's not for you. And so you can no longer hide in the corner or stay in the back and say, let me not say, let me not do this. You don't have time. We all do not have time. There's no such thing as give too much. There's no such thing as live too much. There's no such thing as it's too high, it's too much for me. There's no such thing. All that you want wants you to. And so I saw this guy and I just walked up to him and I said, are you this and this? And he looks at me and says, how? And I just said to him, oh, I need this done. He said, I'm doing it. Like, this is the strangest thing ever. I said, yes, I was sent to you, you were sent to me. What am I saying, guys? Our lives, have more meaning than just superficial things, going, coming, things and that. What have you been given? What is in your hands? People say things like, I don't even know what my talent is, I don't know what my gift is, I don't know what my ability is. It's because you have not decided to pay attention to your own inner voice. How do you pay attention to your inner voice? Introspect, ask yourself questions. When things happen, when you feel a certain way, ask yourself, why do I feel like that? What happened here? What did this person say? Okay, is it because the person did this and that? You need to ask yourself questions. You can no longer be shocked. Why do the people that flock around you, why do they like you? Your friends, your family, your partner, why? Ask questions. Who are you? What is important? What is unique about being you? Those are the things that lift you, that make room for you. You don't need to fight. You don't need to scheme. You don't need to plot. You don't need to copy and paste. You don't need that. All that you need to be, you already are. Thank you, guys. I'm just going to leave you with two words. And those words are step forward. It's not about age, it's not about, there's a time and the time is called now. And all you have to do is really step forward, show up, show out in all of your glory, in all of your ability, all of your power. Your aura, I was telling somebody the other day and I said, your motive for doing the things that you do will determine the aura that you have around you. Some people, they look like they're giving, they look like they're doing this, but their motive shows because after a while they begin to stink. You're just like, oh, this person, that person. 1, 2, 3 people, watch it. Watch that space. What you need to do, protect your environment. Environment, I didn't say N. Protect your environment. Honor your own wisdom. Seek diligence. Step forward. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. He's coming here with good feet to bring good tidings. He'll be reading us a page, the first person to officially read us a page from Now You Know Me Better. Please put your hands together as we welcome the one and only man with the red cap in Lagos, Nigeria, Debola Williams.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Toyosi, thank you for inviting me. And of course, your husband, thank you for inviting me tonight. It's good to be in this room. I think books are a gift. And when one goes further to write about oneself and one's life, it's a blessing. You bless us with your struggles. You bless us with the intricacies of your journey. And you give people permission to walk in your shoes. But not just to walk in your shoes. The essence of reading is to learn so that the path will be easier for somebody else. So what you've done tonight with this book is to make the path easier for other people. And for that, I thank you. The loss of a parent really does elicit pity from society. And I suppose this is the nature's way of compensating the bereaved. However, no sympathy can take the pain away. It eases, albeit temporarily. but it's never all rose and sunshine. For me, it has been a cycle of pain that comes in waves. My pain level started as a small wave that grew into tidal waves and eased back into small waves again as the years went by. As a 13-year-old, I didn't fully understand how his death would impact my life. I felt a sense of loss, and it was obvious that he was no longer around. But it didn't hurt immediately. In fact, I remember being excited when my classmates paid a condolence visit to the house after his burial. We lived off Adelabu in Sudan. Some classmates came in the school bus, accompanied by a teacher. I was excited to see them. I didn't think my life would change that much. I didn't even think my life would change at all. So in those early days, it would really be baby waves. When I missed home, I left for boarding school a few months later. And that helped. The change of environment and being surrounded by people took my mind away from the loss, even though I still said my father is dead a lot. It took years for the tidal wave level of pain to hit. But when it did, it hit long, hard, not budging, not receding, just staying there until I learned to live with it. I was in SS3, and as the uncertainty of my future after secondary school loomed, I started to feel the pain of his absence intensely. I would start thinking about university, and I was stuck on Oral Roberts University in Tulsa. I don't know how I heard of the school. I just know that when I did, I latched onto it like a dog with a bone. I told all my friends I was going to ORU, and I had their brochure sent to me. You would find me in the cyber cafe on their website. And when I failed JAM and my mother was leaving, I told her JAM did not matter because I was going to I had what I thought then was faith. But now I know it wasn't, because faith never fails. My faith was that I would get a scholarship and be on a flight to the United States of America. Well, she did get on board. In the end, the grace and mercy of God got me into Bowen University in Iwo, Osun State, Nigeria. Thank you. You know, I'm just going to end by saying that faith is a journey. And the point about you saying now you know what's faith, perhaps, maybe it's still in the future. You can afford to go to ORU now by yourself, actually. You can get a scholarship now. And what I've learned in my life in almost 4 decades, nearer to 3 decades, but I've learned that our lives are never complete. It's a constant journey. I'm seeing things happening to me now that I thought about 5 years ago, the exact way I thought about it. But if I told you then, you would have said, I am just a dreamer. I remember one year, particularly that year, 2016, was a tough year for Nigeria. And I always imagined before them getting an endorsement and, just bagging some money by a bag. That January, I was in my bathroom when I got a call to be Globacom's first non-entertainment entrepreneur. This had been something I thought about years before. I didn't know where it was going to come. I didn't know how it was going to come. There are many things. The work we do today with leaders around the world, the thing I did recently, many things that I have thought about long before now, and I have faith. So when it's not happening, it's not that your faith is not active. It is that the seed is only growing, and you cannot see the fruit until the tree takes root. So keep faith, my sister. You will have it.
Thank you very much, Demola. Thank you. or maybe a master's or a doctorate, seriously, what would it be? Or who knows, sponsoring some people through the university. Please, another round of applause for Deborah and congratulations on our program. Now we've started to open the book. He has officially unveiled the book, and I'm very excited about the parts that he read, because whilst I was reading that part, I remember sending Toyosi a message and saying, we have so much more in common than I realized. But it's not my duty to review the book. I'll be welcoming an expert, the 2019 NLNG Prize for Literature winner, Jude Ijaja, who is coming forward to the video. Please put your hands together for him.
All right, now joining me is the amazing Deborah Williams right here. How are you feeling today?
Good, thank you.
All right then. So you're here for Toyosi, and she writes a book about real life African experience and her journey, embracing who she is. Is there any way you can relate to this as an individual?
I think we're all living books. It just takes courage to put it down. And so, what Toyosi has done is to remind all of us again our responsibility to journal our journey and give other people an easier path in life by learning from our mistakes, from our failings, from our fears, and come out stronger. The particular point that will be striking in the book is when she told her husband she wanted to be a celebrity, and her husband says, you cannot just be a celebrity, you've got to be something and then be celebrated. Those are stories that many of this generation need to learn. In the generation of Insta celebrity, of influencers, and Instagram and Twitter, that's an important point. And there are many lessons that listen to us in this book that this generation needs to read about.
Thank you so much for that. All right, is there something you would like to tell Toyosi?
I've told her.
Well done. Thank you.
Hello, hi. I'm Jude, as she introduced me. This is going to be very tricky because usually the reviewer has to be as objective as possible. It's going to be hard. Not only do I know Toyosi or Daniel or Irene, our father-in-law is right there. So I really can't be as honest as I want to be, but I will be as truthful as I can. Okay, so now you know me better, written by Toyosi Etim-Effiong. It's 181 pages of a collection of short stories, truly inspired short stories. In review, we try to be very technical, but in being technical, it presupposes that the author themselves intended to write a book that is trying to choose my words. Try to write a book that is, well, let's say, thematically serious. It is serious, but the kind of way she has written it in such an honest way, in such an unfolding, in its surrendering kind of tone, that it would be unfair for me to review this book as though I was reviewing a textbook. And the beautiful part of it all is her fearlessness. And for you to understand this book, you have to first of all understand in some way Toyosi. So thank God that I do in some way. So when you read the book, it's as though you're walking on this journey alongside Toyosi, and she's just telling you these stories. So her language is colloquial, it's a mixture of English, of broken English, of Yoruba, of street slangs and all of that. That gives it a very real nature, it brings it alive. The kind of words she puts in the mouths of the characters of the book are at once connecting as they are beguiling as they are inspirational as they are empowering, and most of it, that's for her. Now you know me better. What does that presuppose? So she presupposes that she's being misunderstood. And now she's revealing a part of herself that should give you
additional knowledge for you to make whatever conclusions you have to make as regards her and decide on the next step going forward. So I will talk context here. First off, when I met Toyosi first, I met her back. So I'm being as revelatory as she was in her book. I met her back. I live in Toronto, Canada. I was in Toronto, Canada, and Daniel and I were going to Skype. Was this Skype or WhatsApp video call? I can't remember. And Daniel put on the video, and I saw somebody, I'm sure Daniel, can I say? Okay, I saw somebody on the bed with him, of course her back was turned to me. And I said, oh Daniel, who is that? And Daniel said, oh, it's my girlfriend. Before then, I think I left Nigeria like maybe 2 months or 3 months before that, and I knew Daniel was single at that time. And I said, what girlfriend? And he said, this one is serious. That's what he said. So, obviously, I met her back first. And then I came to Nigeria and I met Toyosi. I met her front. Her fearless front. Her fiery front. And there was Daniel. I've known Daniel since he was like 5, 6, 7, like a really tiny kid. And so I have a very possessive, will I say, attitude towards him. She's like my younger brother and all of that. And the first time I met Daniel with Toyosi, Daniel just looked so inexperienced, so unprotected, so about to be devoured, about to be ravished. And I was like, and Toyosi was just looking at me right into my eyes saying, yes, this is me. You know, so the first thing I had was to protect Daniel, was to ask him questions. Are you sure? Are you sure? And Daniel was just going at breakneck speed. He was like talking about this girl and wanting to go forward and all of that. And I was like, hey, God. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, God, who is this girl? What is this girl, Victoria and Daniel? You know? So I had that kind of, and I'm speaking for myself here, but I don't know what any other person felt. But I had that kind of feeling that, who is this girl that can move Daniel at such breakneck speed? And the first thing I had was a very negative predisposition towards her. And she said something to me a while back, and she said, was it in Canada? I don't know where, or Nigeria somewhere. And she said, Canada, I think. And she said, Jude, I know that the first time you met me, you didn't like me. I know, as I said, that's her nature, to be very forthright. And I told her, and I said, no, she actually said it. She asked me a question and she answered it herself. She said, I know you didn't like me because of Daniel, and you thought I was going to do this to Daniel, but at least now you know that I love him and all of that stuff. And yes, I do. And at that time, I protected Daniel because of what I thought she was. And that brings us to what is the title, Now You Know Me Better. I thought I knew Toyosi to an extent until I read this book. And in reading this book, Toyosi became like a bulb, like an onion bulb. Every layer revealed something different. So you meet Toyosi as a kid in the book now. You meet Toyosi as a kid in Corona, and you know, she's, how will I put it? She comes from these two families. One of them is illustrious and rich, and she doesn't mince bones. She makes you know how rich and illustrious her father's family is. And then you meet her mother's family, who are more humble and they're more suburban. They live in a place in Amukoko. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but I can't pronounce it, don't try. But it's in Ijeru, Ife, Lotu, local government, where you have a Chebule. I can't just pronounce the other word. Well, her grandmother, lives there. So we see Toyosi as this tiny kid in Corona who spends time living in the Joneses, which we're talking of Ikoyi, Via, and all of that. And then she has to still go, this tiny little girl, and also go into this ghetto. Let me use the word, is that okay to use the word ghetto? She has to go to this ghetto and live with her grandmother in the same time space. Imagine the culture shock. But we see Toyosi embracing these two worlds with ease and panache. The same kind of ease and panache we even see her exhibiting now. So those things show us the foundational blocks that have built the Toyosi that we see. We see her losing her father, and that was what you just heard in the excerpt that was read. We see her losing her father, the shock it does to her. But we also see her taking that shock and using it as a key to open doors for her. We see her use it as a pity paddle. So she flops it on your head so that you can give her what she wants, using her father's death as, the password to that thing. We see her grow alongside. So I know we're done for time, so I'm going to be very brief now. So we see her galloping through time. But in galloping through time, we are seeing Toyosi learning. We're seeing her learning through her strengths and learning through her weaknesses. But what is most impressive about this book is the way Toyosi tells us about her weaknesses. She talks about her embracing God and finding God in one page. And the next page, Toyosi is telling you that your father is here. And in the next page, Toyosi is telling you how her dearly beloved husband is on set and is going to... I'm so sorry, sir. He's on set, and because he's rounding up late, they're going to put him in a hotel. And Toyosi is this, newly married lady who is at home and she's missing her husband. And she tells us how she drives at breakneck speed across 3rd Mainland Bridge, not just to go and see Daniel. I'm so sorry, sir. But she uses the words exactly. She says she drives down that 3rd Mainland Bridge to go and collect. I'm sorry, sir. So those I don't know what. And she tells us about her being pregnant in Canada, and she's alone and all of that. And you would think that she would talk about how she misses Daniel, obviously she does, and how she misses Nigeria. But then she says it in bold letters. She's like, all through my pregnancy, I was just crazy. What? I leave it to you. So I'm pointing these things out also to understand the kind of style and kind of tone Toyosi uses. There's no pretense. She's talking to us about her finding herself living in a brothel in Lekki, not by her own intention. Let me just verify that. But the agents, put her in this place where her neighbors are all Oloshos, let me put it that way. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Oloshos. Yeah, her neighbors are Oloshos. But then we see Toyosi who's talking about how she's going for fellowships and all of that. But you would think that in revealing that she will be judgmental. But you see how she embraces, how she rolls with the punches, how she embraces this new reality, gets to know these Oloshos, how she even has good words for them and all. But this is the same Toyosi in context. And when I met her, I think the second day I met her, she told me she was in some hotel in Lekki. I think they call it digging deep and pulling back. I forgot. Something. Okay. So that was the kind of Toyosi that was the Toyosi I met. But there's something I will also share that will help you put the book more in context. I think it was the first outing I had with Toyosi and Daniel. We had gone for the GTB, I think it was the carol, the Christmas carol. And this was Toyosi that was always talking about Jesus, about this and about that. So that was the kind of, predisposition I had towards her, that she was a Jesus girl. So we are sitting around this table and the GTB was open air. She was sitting next to Daniel. And they had these balloons. The balloons when they blow them, they have them either spherical or they have them long and cylindrical. Off your mic. And Toyosi was looking right at Daniel. I'm sure they didn't notice I saw that, but I was just sharing so you can understand the context of this book. So Daniel and Toyosi is looking right at Daniel. And I don't know what they're saying, but they're whispering something to themselves. And Toyosi is making this motion with her hand on this cylindrical balloon. And Daniel is smiling like... Daniel is smiling like, you know, a child in a candy store. But at that moment, what that action did, it made me humanize Toyosi. That I realized that this girl wasn't pretending. She had the confidence to be herself. Even if that confidence, even if that revelation of self was in contradiction to what you think that she is. It's a confidence that very few of us have. To be able to be at once Christian and be secular, to be at once strong as to be weak, to be at once, will I say Puritan, as to be liberal. And that's the kind of person you see when you read this book. You see the Toyosi that goes to New York. You see the Toyosi who is fighting over a bigger apartment with a smaller apartment with her roommate. You see the Toyosi that I never even knew wanted to be a soldier. Can you guys imagine Toyosi being a soldier? Can you even imagine it? But this is what she did. She went through that whole, will I say, process to become a soldier in her journey through life. But everything she says to us, she says it with a certain panache, with a certain lack of apology. She's not apologizing for these things she did. She's just telling you that I did them. This is how I grew. This is how I have become who I have become. Now you know me. Now that you know me, what would you do with me? What would you do with me? For me, Toyosi, I choose to love you more. I choose to accept you more. I'm a writer myself, and I know that when I write, I self-edit. I read your words, and I'm just marveled at the grace and courage it takes for you to be that revelatory of yourself, knowing fully well that your father-in-law is going to read this book. knowing fully well your mom will read this book. Knowing fully well that this book is going to travel far, and not being afraid of what people will think about you. It is a strength that not a lot of us have. And for that, I just want to say thank you. So you see, I tell you my time is up like this. So please, when you approach this book, do not approach it with a sense of no, obviously you can't do without that. You think you know Toyosi, so you're going to obviously approach it with the foreknowledge of what you think that she is. But I want to tell you that when you read this book, you will discover a different Toyosi. But the test is that when you put this book down, would you be the same person that started reading it in the first place? Toyosi reveals herself not only to let you get to know her better, but also for you to ask yourself if you have the courage, you have the willpower to do what she's doing, to be unapologetically authentic, to say this is me, this is my strength, this is my weakness, I am not apologizing for it, I am a work in progress, I am getting better and better and better. I am older than Toyosi, I do not have a memoir, I am not recounting my life, but she's doing it for herself. Do you know what it means? It means I don't care what you think about me. And before I go, just one last thing I'm going to share. Toyosi says something in this book which I think is most important. She said that she and Daniel, when they met, they were talking about what they wanted to be in the future. And Toyosi told Daniel, she said, I want to be a celebrity. And Daniel looked at her, and Daniel said, never say that to another person again. Never say that to any other person again. And Toyosi goes to tell us how Daniel told her how shallow it is, how you cannot be a celebrity just wanting to be a celebrity. You are celebrated for what you accomplish and all of that kind of stuff. Do you know Toyosi didn't need to write about that? But she did. And the beautiful thing about it is that maybe she doesn't realize it. She's on her way to that wish that she has wished for herself. And I am here today to just, I'm not a praying man, or I'm sure she knows that. But I'm just here to just put some words of affirmation. That sometimes we have to chase our dreams. We have to be strong. We cannot falter. I have walked that path myself. I have turned against what people thought I would become. My husband has done that same thing himself. And I remember his father said to me, Jude, I don't know what you're telling Daniel. That's making him, jump off the bandwagon. And Toyosi is doing the same thing. She's doing it by herself. Even though her husband is by her side. Even though her family is by her side. Toyosi is seizing the reins, as we see in this, in the pages of this book. And she's just galloping, just believing that whatever roadblock there is in front of her, whatever obstacle there is in front of her, she will overcome it. And even if she cannot say it publicly, because in this book she tells us how she thought she was the popular spouse until she saw the fame of her husband, and it humbled her. Seriously, you won't be humbled for too long. You will be a celebrity in your own right. People will testify to the genius of your work. You are a brilliant woman, you are a talented woman, you are feisty, you are going for what you want to get. And we all will be here, as we are here today, not just to give you the honor, but also to give ourselves the privilege of being in your presence and seeing your star rise. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for this vision. Big one, minutes, and I hope that we have justice.
Thank you very much, Jude. Round of applause for the deputy author. Sorry. The one who has reviewed the book. Please put your hands together as we welcome Haline to come serenade us for a moment.
Hello, Mimi. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I absolutely love your outfit. Green. You know what I'm
I know,
saying?
right? Thank you.
All right, now you're here for Toyosi Etim-Effiong, and it is so nice to be here. I can imagine how you feel right now. So tell me, what is your expectation from today's event? Like Toyosi writing a book about, herself, her identity, a life story. What do you expect from today?
I think from today what I expect is to be entertained. Very similar to the feeling that I got while I was reading the book. I expect to laugh.
Yeah.
I expect to maybe almost shed a tear. These are authentic life experiences we're talking about. And I absolutely expect to be inspired. Yeah, I'm so proud of Toyosi. She's my big sister. I've known her for years. And this kind of feels like a full circle moment for me to see her be able to articulate her life experiences in such a beautiful way. I'm so proud.
I mean, speaking about you being proud of Toyosi, is there any part of the book that you read that you could really, really connect with, that you could say, oh, I think I can relate to this experience?
So Toyosi and I went to the same school, same secondary school.
Okay, Queen's College.
Queen's College, yes.
Interesting.
And we also went to the same film school in New York, the New York Film Academy. So I mean, for that reason alone, every time she made reference to any of those two institutions, I could immediately connect. But outside of that, I think anybody that reads this book will connect. You might not have the exact same experiences, but just because she has shared them in such an authentic and honest way, it would just make you look inwards and think about your own life and think about where you were or where you could have been at the time that Toyosi was having such experience. Honestly, your mind goes wild while reading this book, I promise you. It's such a beautiful experience.
All right, so one last question before you go. So now that I know that you went to the same high school with Toyosi, what is that one experience or one memory you have with Toyosi that whenever you look back, it just puts a smile on your face or you just laugh about it?
It is called Scruples. So there was this thing in QC. There was this thing in QC called, it's actually how Toyosi and I met in school.
Okay.
It's called Scruples. It's a beauty pageant that GS3 students in QC do. And then they get the SS3 or SS2 students to sponsor them. So I was a contestant for Scruples and Toyosi was my sponsor.
Oh, like a chaperone.
Exactly. So my sponsor, she was in charge of my entire outfit, my wardrobe. She taught me how to walk. She taught me how to smile. She taught me how to turn, how to answer all my questions.
Yeah.
I mean, that is where the love affair between Toyosi and I began. And thankfully, we're still waxing
sweet.
strong.
Thank you so much for joining us on the red carpet. It was nice having you.
Thank you. Enjoy today. Thank you.
So Toyosi and I have known each other for about 7 years, I think. I was calculating last night. And literally anything that Toyosi does, she somehow... Where is she? I need to see her face and talk to her. Oh, she's out there. But everything she does, she always finds a way to involve me. And I'm just so honored to be here tonight. I feel like it's our book. It's not just her book. All of her friends, like all of us literally feel it's such a proud moment. So it would only be right for me to do her favorite song of mine, and this is called Ololufemi. voice. So this is literally it. So it goes. That's it. You just sing it over. Do you want to try? Sing. There's some singers in the house tonight. Again. Nice, okay. So when it gets to that part, I'm gonna just go, I'll signal you, so you have to be ready, okay? So this is a song that I hardly ever do, but this is a special night, and everybody in this room can attest to the fact that we're all inspired by this young lady, Toyosi. She inspires us all to keep on dreaming. This song is called Dream. Dream far beyond your wishes, further than the stars your eyes can see. Dream louder than a whisper, wilder than your deepest fantasies. For the sky, it's just a bed for you to rest upon. Once you know you are way beyond all you think you are. Your time has come. Sing. Beautiful. A little louder. Sing. One more time. Sing. Yeah. Oh yeah. Again. 'Cause it takes work to make a dream come true, but you have to see it through. It's not always about you. You have to give and take and make mistakes. Your heart will break, and sometimes it will be hard to do, but you have to see it through. So see it through and just believe. You have to keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming. Thank you so much, Toyosi. Thank you. So proud of you. Love you.
Now, most companies within our space, are trying to become McPay. Why? Because over time, we've maintained quality. And that's why our tagline is improving performance. Now, the only way we can begin to improve performance of people and organizations is when you begin to develop talents. You provide solutions, to the various issues and needs of those organizations. And that is exactly what we do. So I'm just telling you inviting you to just a small action. Visit our site at www.macpay.com. You will see an avalanche of services and offerings that we provide. Thank you so much.
Time for us to get to know Toyosi, the author, the reason why we're here today. And right after that, we have a panel session of some of Nigeria's most influential people. They'll be joining us to speak very briefly on some very important topics. But please, at this moment, I'd like us all to please stand up as we welcome the reason why we are here today, the woman we've all come to celebrate with, the latest author in town. Please put your hands together for Toyosi Etim-Effiong as she comes to join me on stage. What a gorgeous celebrant. And are you sure you wouldn't join her? Come on, join her. It's okay. You're part of the celebrant as well. The two of you are one. What God has joined together, let olive not put asunder. All right, everyone, please have your seats. Thank you very much. Can you have a mic, please? Okay, so we will get to the celebrants, the main celebrants, in a moment. But we want to speak with the assistant celebrant very quickly. And after this, I can let you go and face Toyosi. So, congratulations first, Daniel.
Thank you.
How would you say this process has been for you, all of this, watching Toyosi being all that she is today, and you being here to celebrate with her as well?
Well, it has been wonderful. Toyosi is brilliant. She's very passionate, very blunt, very fiery, very powerful. So when she told me that, when she traveled to have our baby, I was always telling her that maybe it's time to, because she always complained that, she had all this time and she was bored and she didn't know what to do with her time. And I said, okay, Toyosi, maybe this is a great time to write something. You're a writer, right? And I always told her that, or I always tell her that a filmmaker, I'm not a filmmaker because I want to be a filmmaker. I'm a filmmaker because I make films. I'm an actor because I act. So when Toyosi told me, I'm a writer, and I asked, what have you written? And she said, I was a columnist for Bella Nigeria, for example. I'm like, okay, great, you were a writer. You are a writer because you are currently writing. So I told her, look, babe, start to write something. You have all this time. Maybe it's a great opportunity for you to write. Take advantage of your boredom. And she was like, I don't know what to write, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward, several months later, she has written a book. And the process for us was incredible because I was blessed to be by her side as coach. She didn't really enjoy me coaching her because we always, fought through the process. But yes, it has been a wonderful and challenging process.
Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Now to you, Toyosi, the latest author. Take us back to the very moment you decided that you were going to write this book. And can you remember exactly where you were, what you were doing, the first time you decided and actually opened up your laptop to start writing?
So it was COVID, like everyone had time, no one was really doing anything. And I had just started to write about, I think it was Lekki Chronicles I started with on Instagram. So I was sharing my experience living in a house where my neighbors were like women of the night, and how I did not know that before I moved into the house. And people seemed to just latch onto it, like they seemed to really enjoy it. And I remember one of my spiritual mentors, Debola Dejikurumi, she said to me, send this to me in a PDF form, which I thought was weird because I was writing on Instagram, so you just caption and then you move on. So I found myself having to copy and paste all the captions and then putting them in a Word document and then convert it to a PDF so I could send it to her. And I truly think that was the beginning of me seeing it as just more than Instagram captions. And then I found myself just writing and writing and writing. And before I knew it, I had what I thought was a book. And I was telling Daniel, I'm like, oh my God, I think I've written a book. And then he looked at it and I think it was like maybe 40 pages or something. And he was like, no, this is not
a book, and he started to lecture me. He said that already, you have to give people value for their money. They're going to put their money in your book, then it has to be worth it. What you've written now is just captions. It's just like, wow. Yeah, I was slightly heartbroken, but then it made me go deeper. It made me flesh out all the stories, and I began to take it more seriously then.
What would you say was the most difficult part of writing this for you, or the most difficult part of the book that you had to share? Don't give us too much detail so that everybody still gets the book.
I think it was the memories. There were some memories that I thought I had forgotten, but then as I wrote and I went deeper, they started to resurface. So I had several emotional moments while writing. So yes, that would be the most challenging part for me.
Now, when people read this book, what would be the one thing that you want them to take away from this book?
I just want everyone to embrace their story. I want everyone to actually I'm just seeing my father-in-law for the first time. Hello, Daddy. Okay, so I just want everyone to embrace their story, because I realized that the stories I was ashamed of, growing up in Amukoko, spending the weekends there and then living with the VI kids, I was ashamed of that. I would come up with all sorts of stories. I wouldn't want to share that part of my life. But I realized that's what has formed me. If my grandmother did not insist that I spoke Yoruba to her all the time, if not, I wouldn't have eaten, I wouldn't have learned how to speak Yoruba. So I learned Yoruba with my grandmother, learned the Lord's Prayer, Psalm 23, all of that. Even Yoruba songs now, Yoruba hymns as well. So that part of my life actually is part of what has shaped me. So for me, I want everyone to embrace their story, the embarrassing ones, the seemingly shameful ones. Just own it. It is you. It's part of your story. It is your story. It's your identity. So that really is what I want everyone to take away from reading my book.
Beautiful. And Daniel, when you had the first draft of the book and you went through it, what did you feel like? This is not the 40 pages one. That's the final draft.
I felt really proud. And for me, it was, I didn't feel proud because my wife had written a book. I felt really proud because she had written a damn good book. Pardon my French. She had written an amazing work of art, so I felt really proud.
Amazing. Toyosi, before I let you go, you spoke so deeply about the loss of your dad and how it affected you. And at that moment when I was reading, I felt like I could connect to that story, which I shared with you over the phone. But what would you say is the major highlight? You know how your story, you've always looked for ways to, how they say, life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. You've always looked for what life has tried to teach you. What would you say that the passing of your father taught you? And how would you say it has formed you into the woman you are today?
I mean, that is arguably the toughest experience I've had, losing my dad and growing up without my dad. But like you said, make lemonade from lemons. I have learned to deal with it. I've learned to use people to fill in that space. And I have actually put a lot of, I feel like, oh gosh, please can we just give this man a round of applause, please? Because this man has tried. I didn't realize I had entered my marriage with a lot of baggage, but he helped me unpack, he helped me deal with things, he helped me see things clearer, see things differently, and I'm just in a very good space now, and I'm so happy and I feel so blessed to be where I am right now.
Once you spoke about your dad, you kept looking at Daniel, like, okay, that's the new daddy.
He acts like my dad sometimes.
Daddy, new daddy, I'd like you to, like, in this moment, say something to Toyosi. Let's for a minute imagine Toyosi's father were here, speaking to her about how proud he is of her. Speak to her like, tell her, just, of course you can't be the father.
No, I cannot.
You cannot be the father.
No.
But now you have a role in her life, you become her partner, her best friend. So just imagine the rest of us aren't here, right? And you want to tell her just exactly how you feel about her, about this book and about what she's done. Not the regular, I'm proud of you. Just pour out your heart in 30 seconds.
I can say that as a husband, not as a father. Babe, you have made me a very, very proud man. You have blown my mind away. You have exceeded every expectation that I had for you. And this book represents just a taste of the power that you carry. Okay, this is just a taste. And there are many, many more books where this came from. Okay? So this is the first step of many more steps to come. I love you. God bless you.
Oh, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much. Please can we put our hands together for our celebrants today? Toyosi, would you like to say something back? She looks like she's about to ruin her makeup. Yeah. All right, let's not do that. Well, it's okay if we do. But thank you so much. Thanks so much, Daniel. Congratulations. Can we all please do something real quick? Can we all please bring out our mobile phones? There's something that you need to take down. Can we all please bring out our mobile phones and give them a standing ovation as they please exit? Thank you very much, Toyosi and Daniel. Congratulations. All right, now that we've all brought out our mobile phones, please take down this number, 025 768 1600. I'll take that again. 025 768 1600. And the account number is for GTB. And as you make donations to Toyosi, may the Lord enrich you mightily. Nothing is too little. She has spent a lot of time and effort and money in printing this thing. Please sow into this, ensure that many people get it. You can do the transfers as we're sitting now, and you write checks. As you can request for the book, just let us know how many copies you want. Please, we need to get this book to as many hands as possible. All right? For those who didn't get the number, I'll take it one more time. 025 768 1600. TP Productions. The account is for GTB. Or you can write your checks payable to Olaoluwa Toyosi Performance. Again, will give us the name and zero. So please sit tight. And I would like to welcome the panel host and the moderator of this session. She is Lamide Akintobi, to welcome her panelists. Please a round of applause for her. Thank you. Clap for her. Clap.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Thank you so much for being patient and being such a wonderful audience. I'd like to very quickly invite my panelists on board. First up, I'd like to invite Adora Mbelu, who is a storyteller, a dream interpreter, a philanthropist, and a brand consultant, among many other things. Round of applause. We have to ginger everybody. I know it's cold, but let's do that. I'd also like to invite Busola Dakolo, who is a photographer, a human rights activist. She's a visual storyteller. This is a storytelling panel. Keep the applause going, please, 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 and please. Thank you very much. Last and not the least, I'd like to invite Chude Jidonwo, who is the Chief Joy Officer at Joy Inc. Did I get that title right? Clap for ginger him, or you might talk, you may talk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have mics for everyone? Can we have one more mic? Oh, okay, we have it. Yes, good. Awesome. So I usually don't have a title for my panels, but I'm calling this one the panel of depth and brevity. Because all people are deep. I know the kind of people that you ask one question and they will give you just a straight answer. They will go inside, it's gonna be deep. And any social distance. We're still in COVID, please. Yes, so as much as I know that time is fast spent, we're gonna spend just, I think, 15 to 20 minutes or so on the panel and just ask a few questions. The title of the panel is, what does it say? Preserving your identity among the noise in a digital age. And that's quite a mouthful, but I think it's very important to talk about because we're in a very sort of microwave, fast-paced life, and things can get very difficult, especially when we see the shiny, glitzy things happening. So I want to ask my panelists first, how have you been able to do that? You three are people who I believe are known for being authentic, sharing yourself, your values, your stories, even when they're not pretty and packaged and politically correct, right? So how have you been able to do that in a world that it seems like sometimes it's just the shiny stuff that people want to see and people want to consume? We'll start with Judy.
So when I was reading, I read the book, I finished the book. Can we brag with that? I just finished the book on Monday, and first it didn't finish. It's like a cliffhanger, so we'll have to talk about that. But I do one of the shows that I do under my show. It's called The Daily Vulnerable. So literally, I'm like every day I try to be vulnerable. When I was reading Toyosi's book, I said, I still have to learn this thing. Like there's still levels. And so when they were interviewing me outside, I said, for those of us who have understood the importance of vulnerability and the journey through authenticity, what it is that when we find books like this, it reminds us of the fact that it's a daily journey, that we may have slipped up a bit and we have concealed here. One of my favorite writers, Bernard Brown, says, authenticity is not a way of being, it's a series of daily choices. That means that when I come into this room, I choose to be authentic. And then if I make enough choices, then I'm living an authentic life. So it's like, this book reminded me, so I just kept thinking, okay, have I been authentic and vulnerable over the past few, or have I been, there's a sense in which you be like, I've mastered this thing now. So you start calling me like the joy master. Then you start forgetting that you should meditate or you should pray. You just think I've figured this out. And what this book did was remind me about the places where I might be slipping up and the fact that this still is a daily journey. And I, as a person, might still be, Toyosi was really vulnerable. Toyosi was as vulnerable as this thing called purpose. Like, these people are the one that has the brand name and they're the ones doing the work. So that was what it reminded me of. But there's still so much to do in terms of peeling off the daily layers of life put someone like a cross.
Like a cross, that could be like, but deep.
Good evening, everyone. So I think beyond it being a book, I'm actually looking forward to you being a director, because I think this is a brilliant Netflix series, #Netflix. It's a beautiful series. I could just visualize it and see it in my head. So I'm just going to push you a little bit further and say, Toyosi, great job on the book, but we're going next level with this 10 exits, okay? Yeah, so I think for me, my like Chidi said, it's been a journey, and I often say, be in real life and then amplify with digital. So for me, going digital and speaking about who I am, what I'm about, what my journey is about, is really, I try as much as possible to make sure that it is in alignment with who I really am. And so it's been that journey. But even as I say that, I'll also say that there's sometimes the challenge of assuming that people know what your motive is per time, right? So I think for me, on that journey, there's the balance between saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and then people thinking what they want to think, right? And being comfortable with that. Because a lot of times I feel like when we express ourselves, the resistance that we often get, we amplify that resistance. Like we amplify, one person says something to you and we make it seem like everybody's saying that. So it's very easy to say everybody's attacking you, everybody thinks this about me, when in fact it's one person, two people, it's a smaller percentage. And so I think it's really just a journey, to respond to your question. Like for me, it's not being afraid, it is knowing and owning the responsibility that comes with sharing the truth that I believe, because there is a responsibility whether we like it or not, and being able to be accountable for what comes at you for sharing your journey is really important.
Thank you. Usala?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So, congratulations to your sake. I must say, I've only read a few of the pages, but all I see in the book is originality and authenticity. That was what I said outside. Because it takes a whole lot of boldness to come out as who you are without being ashamed, you know. It's a level of, the first speaker, she said something about inner wisdom. It's no more like personal branding. You have been able to, I call it inner power. And you've been able to possess your inner power, and that's like the beginning of greatness. So I would say it's everyday living for me. I don't, whether you say something negative to me or it's positive to me, I'm like, oh, good, you understand that. But sorry, I don't live on your words. It's another level you get to when you begin to live on the inner wisdom that you have, not on the words. It's good for people to give you accolades. It's good for people to clap for you. But trust me, the same people that clap for you today can throw stones at you tomorrow. So are they the ones that you want to rely on? Are they the ones that you want to put everything about who you are? You want to put everything into their hands. So if you think that way, that will make you to see vulnerability as being powerful. And that's actually how I live. So it's like, it's a blind spot. I don't see what you're seeing. And because I'm not seeing it, it's not affecting me. So it's just us when you begin to know who we really are. Why did you share your stories? You know, I was just reading the aspect of you sleeping in a very, you know, who face me and face you. And, you know, you had this comfortable life at the other end. And I was like, was it compulsory for you to merge the two together? But all that has made you to be who you are today. And I'm so glad that you are unashamed, you know. You're telling everybody, yes, this happened to me. And I'm not just here because of being a VI kid. The Amukoko kid helped me as well. So it shows that we should not be afraid of, you know, the things that you see to be like, this is a stigma. Everything is actually meant to be part of your greatness. So it's a daily understanding. The more you have that true conversation with yourself, you'll be able to have that strong inner wisdom. So it all starts with talk to yourself more than ever. Like I always say, I'm my greatest critic. My husband always say, like, I don't think that there's any, before you say something to me, I've told myself a long time. So you are too late. The way you are telling me now, be like, this is late. I've dealt with this already. That's just me telling myself. So it all starts with that true conversation with yourself. Nobody needs to know the conversations you're having with yourself. But based on those true conversations, you'll be able to know the next step. What am I building on? What do I need to work on? You know, so it's a daily progressive journey for me.
Thank you. That's a round of applause. And I think you kind of touched on where I was going next, Musola, because you were basically giving advice. And I wanted to say that, you know, in this time when there really is a lot of digital noise, like everyone's trying, well, not everyone, but a lot of people are doing pretty feeds and filters, and it just seems like that's just how we need to airbrush our lives. And people feel like that's really the way we should be, and that's the noise that resounds in our head. So how do we move into that journey, like, of saying, you know what, born fake life, pretty feeds and things like that, and in ourselves, start having that conversation and living authentically, like what is, for people who are young, we didn't start out this way. I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this may not have been the person that you are. So for those who maybe are trying to say, you know what, I'm tired of the fluff. I want something to be more meaty, more full of substance in my life, more authentic. What are the steps, you know, to really have that discussion with ourselves and say, okay, now this is the path I'm taking to live a more authentic life, to preserve my identity, or even create my own identity and walk in it with like pride and my full chest. Let's start with Adora.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is knowing, first of all, who you are at the very core of your being, right? Because you cannot really start to walk in authenticity without actually believing and knowing that you are authentic. So I think that a lot of it is in the self-awareness, first of all, and just, again, being able to figure out, why was I created in this world? Why was I put in this world? And knowing that every single person is an answer to an existing problem in this world. I always say that, right? You are all a solution to an existing problem, which means that you could not have been created by mistake, right? There's something that you're meant to be doing in this world. And so I think that understanding that ownership of that, and then to just also know that as much as sometimes we often hear that we are, we're spirits in a container, and that has become very, I always say we're a spirit in a bottle, and it has actually become something that a lot of us believe. We're spirits in a bottle, we're spirits in a bottle. I think that we say that with the hope that we are spirits alone. We forget the bottle part. There's a part of us that doesn't understand that we need to have human integration. We're not existing here as spirits, right? We were put in this container because we need to integrate with humanity. And so I think that when you understand that, then even as you start to walk in this authenticity of who you are, you have to be mindful that you carry some flaws that the human container has, and that is okay as well. Because I think that it can be, it's a thin line, between saying, I'm authentic, I'm honest, I'm, this particular type of person, and also realizing that sometimes the human container will fail you, right? And that is not necessarily a failure, but rather part of the learning experience that just comes with your journey, the journey that we're all on, So I would say give yourself permission first before you start to ask other people to give you permission, because the more confident you are, the more aware that you are of self, the easier it is to navigate this world and just understand that, it's people consciousness. Judy and I will have that conversation.
Okay, what Judy, do you want to go next?
So, the point at which I began this journey, and I've shared this in many spaces, is 2016, when I went through 3 months of a depressive episode, a major depressive episode. And you know how it is when you've had a depression, when you've gone through depression, it's like being an alcoholic, you've said, which is, you take out the alcohol from the fridge. You don't say, oh, I'm no longer an alcoholic, so, put the alcohol in the fridge, let me test myself. And 2 weeks ago, I saw depression coming. I saw it was, it's just weird. I'm like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? I thought I conquered you in 2016, but I saw it coming. And then this is what I figured out. In 2016, when depression came, and it came and arrived and took over, all my walls fell down. All the things that I thought I could hold on to, money, friends, fame, partners, all of that. I couldn't hold on to anything because they were not real. Those things are not the thing. Yeah? But this time when it came, I didn't look for anything outside me. I looked into myself. And I said to myself, today, I think of meditation and prayer as a daily act of fumigating. Yeah? And so when that happened, I thought to myself, I haven't fumigated in so long. I haven't checked my intentions in so long. Part of it was just, I've been doing this TV show, and sometimes, you walk into places, people are actually spirits. And I'm like, this one, and I'm doing that. And I'm internalizing that rather than waking up every morning and thinking I want to make a change in the world, which is the reason why I went to do this in the first place. And so I realized, I'm externalizing this mission rather than reminding myself of why I'm trying to do it. And so I was checking up all those things. This check, not praying check, not checking your intentions check, externalizing instead of internalizing check, doing this because of this rather than this check. And then I'm like, okay, today I forgive myself. You know, I forgive myself, and then I'm going to try again. And you know, and then, so one of the things we learn and we teach at the Joy Retreat Center too is you don't fight the depression, you don't reject it. You allow it to let go of you. So it's like, I didn't focus on, I don't want to be depressed, I don't want to be depressed. I focused on, well, what's the work I need to do on myself? And I believe that if I do the work, then the depression will let go of me. Which is always easy to teach, but then I have to practice it now. And then when I've checked all my intentions and I forgave myself and I committed to trying again, then it let go of me. And I continued my journey. You know, so I think that's what it is, which is, first to come, and all of this is self. You know, I didn't have to go and do something dramatic. I didn't have to go to the mountain, you know, it's just, can I accept what I'm feeling? Can I check myself? Can I forgive myself? And can I continue my journey? Even if I decided I've done something completely terrible, I am permitted to forgive myself and to try again. And so that's what I did. And I thought, this is the difference between now and 2016. Now the work was in time now. I didn't have to travel. I didn't have to go and do one big thing. I just had to go back into myself. And that's why some people say that loving yourself is the most radical act of self-care. Just the most radical.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So do you have anything to add?
Okay, we've pretty heard everything, really. It's all about, I have so much going on in my mind right now. So like Julie just said, it talked about intention. That's basically it. You have to understand why. Like I tell myself when I'm angry about something, why are you angry? You know, I don't tell myself, you don't need to ask, you're not meant to be angry. No, this person said this to you, you're not meant to be angry about this. No. I allow the feelings to come. But one thing I don't do is, I don't allow the feelings to now stay there. So you don't see feelings like, no, it's bad. No, it's just like a pointer. It's just telling you something is wrong. Check, 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 check. You know, it's like the way people always say good or bad. I don't see things like that. It's not about, this is good and this is bad. What is making this thing to be bad? Why is this good? You know, so when you can actually think deeper than just looking at things superficially on, okay, it's been presented to me this way and I'm just accepting it. So, and that's basically all the errors that we see about social norms. We just accept what we've been presented without questioning. So because I question myself a lot, I question, why were you feeling like this? Why were you expecting this person to say hello to you? You know, I ask ridiculous questions. I break things down. I have books. That's how I talk to myself. So, because I'm a very practical person. It's not just about, don't tell me, okay, from here to VI is 3 kilometers. How did you measure the 3 kilometers? What was the tool you used? You break things down for me. That's the way my business is. So, I break things down, and I think it's also a good thing. This is how I live my life daily. Like, oh, what happened to you this way? You flared up. Why were you meant to flare up? Why did you flare up? Oh, you could have acted better. And that's it. So it's neither good nor bad. Just know why and forgive yourself. Oh, I didn't act well. Oh, that wasn't a good response. Oh, the way you shouted at that driver because he just crossed you, you know. And I'll just be like, because just that act of just shouting at that driver, sometimes I will take that anger, take it home. My kids will be saying, Mommy, welcome, welcome. And I'm like, okay, just go and sit down, just go and sit down. Do you know what I just did? I just affected that child psychologically. So you don't know how you transfer aggression, exactly. You transfer aggression because you did not handle something better. So, but by the time you're having that conversation with yourself, you'll be able to know, oh, this is why I acted like this, and see the ripple effects. this could have been prevented if I had just calmed down and like allow him, So it's a daily progressive thing, just like everyone has said. Love yourself, be willing to forgive yourself. I think one of the greatest things in this world is willingness. People always say dedication, commitment, but to me, I always feel like once you are willing, that's like the bedrock of everything. You're willing to say, I understand. You're willing to know. You're willing to read. You're willing to walk. The willingness is like the bedrock of everything. So just be willing to love yourself. Love the good. Love the seemingly bad. And just know that really, let me be a bit spiritual here. You know when they say like all things work together for good. It's more like just look at it that, see, everything. Stop looking at the word good, bad. I think that's something I feel like we need to sort of change the approach to that and just see things in a different perspective. It will help better, and it will help you to also love yourself better when you don't do things the right way. It will also help you, to be able to extend the love to others as well.
Thank you. So wise. Yes, so well. I think we only have time for one more question, and I think we just have 2 to 3 minutes. And something that I thought was important to touch on, because it's something that Toyosi is also passionate about, is the idea of the Nigerian identity. Now, among the things you said, talking about self-love and forgiving ourselves and having grace towards ourselves and being containers that have to integrate with other humans. I think we can all agree to a certain extent that in integrating with Nigeria as an entity, we've all had to deal with a lot of trauma over the years, but especially very recently. And I wanted to ask you guys, as people who are authentic and people who are living in their truth, right, this daily journey, how we marry that with the trauma that we consistently deal with. And if we can get to this briefly, we can answer briefly, I know it's tough, and how do you keep your sense of self and keep your head up in a sense when it just seems like it might be better to cower into a shell and say, I've won everything and everybody, I'm going to Canada. Who wants to start? Why are you always pointing at Chide? Oh yeah, Chide, answer.
I'm about to call her.
Please, let it be brief. Okay, let's go.
I wrote an article about this on my birthday called Home is Where the Heart Is. And so it's like a comprehensive article about why I'm in Nigeria. But something I really want to say quickly, because I mentioned talking about depression earlier. So if this is important to say, if people have tried self-love, tried self-forgiveness, tried self-compassion, it doesn't work, see a therapist. So do not say, there's no performance in this. You tried everything, see a psychologist, see a psychiatrist, get help. Yeah? Because sometimes it just is difficult to do it by yourself. So I just want to ensure that is validated. Just quickly, many years in 2017, I was out in Nigeria for the longest period of my life. And what I learned about how to deal with Nigeria is you have to define clearly your relationship with Nigeria. You have to treat Nigeria like a love. Yes? And you have to determine that how am I going to treat this love of my life. And this is how I've decided to deal with Nigeria. With empathy. That is the truth. I do not, Nigeria used to anger me. I do not get angry at Nigeria anymore. I wrote an article where I said, maybe we need, I'm treating Nigeria the way you treat a drug addicted child. When the drug addicted child comes to your house, you take away all your valuables. You take away all your valuables and you don't pretend that this child is not drug addicted. You expect this child to do something wrong, but you love the child anyway. And because you love the child, because drug-addicted children respond only to patient love. They don't respond to judgment, they don't respond to rejection, they don't respond to, beating. So that's it. And so once you define, and I'm not saying you have to choose my relationship, your relationship can be anger. And with doing this anger, it's like my mother, Kiki Moji, like not to engage Nigeria, engage it with blazing hot rage. I'm like, Kiki, I'm there with you, she's clear. The problem in many of us is that we've not defined how we want to engage Nigeria. So our emotions are going all over the place. So there's anger, tomorrow is desperation, next tomorrow is depression, then the other day we give up hope. We can't allow Nigeria to take charge of our emotions. We should approach Nigeria every morning saying, I know you, I see you, and this is how I'm going to respond to you.
Yeah, that takes a lot of strength. Let's try and get there. Adora?
Should have said it. Yeah, so I think I'm not going to approach it from that angle because you already said it and I'll just be plugging it. So I think for me in general, there are two things that I always think about. One is the gift of choice, just like you mentioned at the very beginning, and the second is the gift of presence, right? So when I say the gift of choice, for me, it's always what do you choose to consume? What do you choose to take in? What is real? What is not real? Just like she mentioned, right? The gray areas. And so I think it's important that we're intentional, right? About what it is that we allow pass through us, right? Into our thoughts. Because some of the thoughts that we have of Nigeria are not true, or are not real. They are real to other people and other people project that reality onto us and it becomes our reality because people are talking about this particular thing. You just embrace it, you decide it, and then that becomes your reality. And so I think that for me, I've been very intentional about choosing what I want my Nigeria to be. And for some people, that is delusional. So I'm probably quite delusional to some people in how it is that I perceive. But I also think that I made an intentional choice to move back to Nigeria when I did. We all made an intentional choice to be here. If not, we have choices for most of us, I would say. And then there's also Cotonou, right? And you can just drive your car across the border. So I think that, when we embrace those choices and then day to day, we make more choices. That's important. The second thing for me is the gift of presence. It's just, as human beings, I feel like a lot of times we're stuck either in the future or in the past. So a lot of times our frustration is coming from history, right? Like everything is historical. This happened, that happened, this happened. And so our beliefs try to conform to what happened historically, which means that technically we suffer from imposter syndrome as well. So we don't believe in the possibilities that we say that we believe in. You know what I mean? Like, so we're expectant of certain things, but then as they happen, we still doubt them, which means we all suffer from imposter syndrome. So I think for me, it's also just not living in what you want Nigeria to be or where Nigeria has been, but just where you are right now today, how we are, and dealing with that for time, and just knowing that again, it's all a journey. And so for some of the things that you're seeing, you may not even live to actually see. So that's the disappointment is when you're continuously thinking about tomorrow. So I think for me, gift of presence today, what can I do today? How can I play my part? What is it that I need to do? And then the gift of choice. What do I choose to allow in?
Thank you. Okay. And last but not the least. It's time you said it all. Okay. I think Olive is happy with me. I don't have time for any more questions. So we shall end the panel that way. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do follow them on social media at Toyosi, at Adora, and at Isola Dakolo. Thank you very much. I'm Larry Dakinson. You guys have a wonderful rest of the evening. Very much. And the celebrant is looking really lovely in her second outfit. Don't you like it? Let's put your hands together once again for Toyosi. No, I would like to crave your indulgence. Please, with a standing ovation, let's welcome Mrs. Labo Ademola and Mrs. Temitayo Phillips as they come up to say something very quickly about the daughters, their daughter. Please put your hands together for our mummies as they come forward. Thank you, mommy. So they both read the book. In a few minutes, let's get to reconcile the Toyosi in the book and the Toyosi that they remember. So mommy, I'll start with you. When you read the book, how did it make you feel? She made reference to her growing up and a lot of things. She revealed a lot. How did it make you feel inside, and how
different or similar is Toyosi in the book from the Toyosi that you know?
If you offend a small child, she will remember everything as she grows up. You know, it's easier to offend an adult. An adult will just forget about it and go. You know, I read the book and I was surprised that she gave a vivid account, especially of her stay with my late mom, my grandmother. And I was surprised. Even some names she mentioned, I can't remember. But she could still remember. I laughed. I said, you know, I giggled. I said, she's been a brilliant child.
So your mommy has requested that you be here. Okay.
She tried to tackle problems headstrong. Yes, she's been a very strong child right from the beginning. And even when she lost the daddy, and I was still hurting, she came to me one day and said, "Mommy, but I'm around. Why are you hurting so much?" I told her, I said, "You will not understand." And that's one aspect of her. She was always with me, consoling me. When she decided to go to the boarding school, I understood, because the daddy was always around. Now, daddy is no more around. And I had my aunties with me. I said, "Okay, I give you the permission. You can go to the boarding school." And she did so well there. And but what I still want to say is this Amu experience. She remembered almost everything. If she had told me, I would have asked her to add some things that she did not remember. You know,
I mean, she will add that one to the book.
Yeah, to add. But even then, she did so well. She remembered so many things. Vivid account of what she went through. The Yoruba aspect, it was the same thing with us when we were young. My mother would make you to speak the Yoruba language. And she had this Yoruba book for us. Even after coming back from the formal school, we would have to go through the Yoruba language studies. And that has helped us in life. We speak the Yoruba language. We read it. And she did the same. I'm very happy she did the same thing to her grandchild. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mommy. And so yes, hopefully you do that to your child as well. Great, great. All right, Mommy, your turn.
Thank you. First of all, your name is Olive.
Yes, ma'am.
First, I'd like to say you're doing a very good job. Well done. Well, what do I have to say? The book is Toyosi. Feisty, audacious, everything. It is Toyosi. And if I want to say to Daniel, he's not here, but his wife can tell him. I think the essence of Toyosi is in that statement, "I want to be a celeb." That is the essence of Toyosi. Right from her youth. Just you remember her secret. Should I reveal it? Okay, I'll reveal it slightly. You know, it's a story about, you know, it's like David. The time when men went to battle. I will use myself as David. I won't mention any other names. So David, who should have been at work, was lounging in front of the television. And who comes on TV? Toyosi. At 3 p.m. when David should have been at work. And sees Toyosi dancing away. And wonders how on earth did Toyosi get on television? She and her cousins had been going, but somehow that should have stopped, but Toyosi continued with it because Toyosi wanted to be a celeb. Wanting to be a celeb is perfect. It's like it's like having ambition, it's like wanting to excel. You're on the right track, Toyosi. You are work in progress. Project Toyosi. This is only one part of the project, but it has launched you, and it's launching you to better things, to greater things. Fortunately for you, you are married to a celeb, so that will help. And you are married to a celeb who does not have heirs, who is not cowered by you, who is going to allow you to fly, who has self-confidence. You know, marriage is about doing it right and fulfilling destiny. Because you've done it right, you will fulfill destiny. Because your husband will support you, he will hold your hand, you will support him. Don't worry about the girls. I remember I watched one of his films, and I thought to myself, I said, I saw Daniel kissing. You know, but that's just on a lighter note. But it's all part of the essence of Toyosi. Don't worry about the percentage of divorced celebs. It's not your portion. Auntie Joke Silva, she's your auntie. She's going strong with her husband over 35 years later. You will do much better. So we are proud of you. Your dad, on behalf of your dad's family, I say we're very proud of you. Well done.
Thank you so much, mommies. I think they have said it all so beautifully. Please put your hands together for our mommies. But before we let you go, in 30 seconds, please, if you can remember, share one naughty memory about your just something that one of the most hilarious things you remember from her childhood. There's a lot, right?
Toyosi, what did Baba used to call you? Toyosi the warrior. That was the family driver who used to pick them all from school.
Oh, thank you.
And my name is, I come from Argent. I drink more to make me.
Oh,
that's what we had on TV. This was our star singing. She had made up the song. My name is.
Toyosi, go ahead.
I come from Argent. I drink more to make me. You got it.
Thank you so much, mommy. And mommy, you know, find you words of admonition, encouragement to Toyosi before we let you go.
I would have loved her auntie to continue talking because she's someone with so much hold in her esteem in the family. She's been everything to us, apart from the Lord Jesus. She's been there for us, for Toyosi. Most of the time when Toyosi fell into trouble in school, she would be the one to go to school and talk. In fact, I would just sit and be watching her, and then she will be able to settle all the things. We had this, there was a time I went to visit her in the UK, and I told her, Toyosi, please, I just want to take a stroll on the street. And she said, she told me something. She just said, if you don't find if you miss your way, just call 999. And they will bring you back. So some of those hilarious moments we've had together. Thank God.
Thank you so much, mommy.
It's just Toyosi, as the auntie has said. Just Toyosi. The book, just her. Very frank. She doesn't hide anything. She will tell you, mommy, if I don't tell lies, I did it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Or I said it.
All right.
So please, just one more word. Grandpa Etim-Effiong, thank you for loving Toyosi and accepting her. We love and appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, mommy. Please let's put our hands together for the mommies of the day. So please put your hands together as we welcome Torpedo Mascal to come welcome her. A round of applause for him. Thank you. You may take a seat.
Good evening. Carry us away, captivity requires from us a song. Now how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? The book, Now That You Know Me Better, is a deep felt love letter from the woman who knows better about how to set the pace of how her face and how she began with a little trace to this very place that we see today. The Almighty God, decided that it was time for him not to be idle. And he said, let me show human beings. And that's how he inspired people to write the Bible. And the reason why some people are here today was just so that they can come and say, I was here on that day. So that people will say, there is a reason that we are here today. And this book that you see is a seed. This book that you see is destined to bring healing. You see, what Toyosi did, and what she doesn't know, is that she doing this book is the way she's actually going to bloom. She might not know that that thing they were saying before, that I want to be a celebrity, was actually the seed of the dream that she was going to be. I'm not kidding. Almost, just check it out, a year from now, right now, her husband is the celebrity, and she's supposed to want to be. And a year from now, after writing the book of how it's a better who she'll be, you will see how it will be. Because the desires and the dreams of our heart, it helps us to begin and we start. So I'm going to invite her to come, not just to cut this cake from the heart, but to show that at the end of every day, the sweetness of the cake is the beginning of the start. This book is a seed. This book is the beginning. And like the caterpillar, when we saw her then, we never knew that the butterfly would be winning. All the things that we've gone through in our past, I promise you,
and all of that. So this is Kili and Toyosi. Thank you so much. I want to thank my other sisters, Halima, Ayo is not here, Toby. You know, I just feel so blessed with the kinds of friends that I have. Like, a prayer is one phone call away or one text away. So thank you so much. I thank Pastor Tunde,
sorting out. They said digging deep. It's not digging deep. It's sorting out. You know, this is a man who has fought many battles for me, and I'm just very, very grateful for him. And of course, I have to thank my sponsors, the people that helped put this together. Mate Consulting, thanks to Malta Guinness for beautifying this place and just blessing us all with the drinks and every other thing. I want to thank Loaf Mommy, who made all the banana bread. I want to thank Centurial Publishing, my publishers. Yo, it's been a journey from writing the book to actually seeing it in print in like a book. I want to thank every single person here. You are all a blessing to me. Now, Congratulations on this. Thank you very much to everyone who has stayed till this time for those quick photos. Mommies, please, mommies and daddies. Father-in-law, please, daddy, come take with Toyosi.